Khabib Nurmagomedov is considered as one of the greatest champs of UFC. He is compared with John Jones, St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, and other legendary fighters of MMA. But what if I'll tell you he is not the great fighter? He is just very calculating chicken guy who hugged his zero record same as he hugged the legs of his opponents and escaped all inconvenient fights. Besides, he is one of the biggest cheaters of the weight cutting, especially it was scandal weigh-in before UFC 254. There was premature confirmation. The inspector manning the scale appeared to move the balancing beam upward and quickly wiped it before it could stabilize. Observers noted that the beam was still rising, suggesting he was overweight, when the official announced a weight of 155 pounds. But despite the controversy, the UFC and the local athletic commission officially cleared him to fight. Well, of course, when you are playing a role of Ticket to Arabian Money, then Big Boss will forgive you everything. He defended his title 3 times against Conor McGregor, who drank alcohol and did not fight 2 years already for that moment. He defended the title against convenient striker Dustin Poirier, who was not in prime yet. And he's got friendly sparring with Justin Gaethje. If you did not know, they both had same manager. Of course, that is very comfortable to sit in the lightweight, where almost all fighters are so convenient strikers. And welterweight is absolute risky adventure. That time, welterweight had such monsters like Kamaru Usman, Prime Colby, Prime Burns, Vicente Luque, and other fighters who can wrestle. Have you thought about the fact that Khabib had never a plan to move up to new division? He always said that he won't be doing that, and he did not give any explanation why he does not want to move up to welterweight. Almost all great champs moves up to next level except for Mighty Mouse and Nurmagomedov. Unfortunately, Dana White figured out that Khabib is the road to Arabians' money. Nurmagomedov was a kind of ticket to Muslims fans of MMA. That is why he was forgiven much shit he has done. For example, the case when Dagestani was preparing for UFC 229 to fight Tony Ferguson and then suddenly flew to Abu Dhabi without any notification of promotion. Khabib referred to COVID and Dana White's words that the event will take place not in the USA, but Dana White did not confirm that. It was very strange that Dana, his opponent Ferguson, and other fighters including Francis Ngannou stayed in United States, and Nurmagomedov decided himself to fly to UAE, especially during the weight cut period. If you did not know, dear viewer, I am informing you that the change of time zone during the weight cutting is too difficult and bad for the body. All those time zone changes are reasonable if Khabib was not going to fight against Tony. Upon arrival to Dagestan after he escapes Tony Ferguson, he started to explain his chicken decision in TikTok stream. People began to send him to America cause his opponent is over there, but Khabib referred to travel restrictions. He lied. One Russian combat sport journalist contacted with Air Company and said that the sky is opened. After that, Nurmagomedov began to refer to COVID. He said that everybody must sit home. You can tell me, hey, Khabib was not afraid to fight El Cucuy. Yes, perhaps Khabib was not afraid to get injuries and pain as the result of fighting. He always scared to lose, 0 record. He was afraid to lose the status of unbeatable fighter. He's got the wish to be in MMA history as unbeatable man. Tony Ferguson was the only inconvenient opponent that time for Nurmagomedov who could resist his Dagestani wrestle. Of course, I myself understand that probably Khabib would win El Cucuy. Nurmagomedov preferred do not take a risk if there was even small percentage of losing the unbeatable status. I think it was combination of Ali Abdelaziz. I remind you that he is the manager of Khabib and Justin Gaethje, and it was very strange when Gaethje agreed to change Khabib, and he could cut the weight during COVID limits when all sport activities was limited too, and many fighters got heavier due to lack of physical activities. Tony had been preparing for wrestler, but finally he got a striker Gaethje. The only thing Ferguson should have done is refusal to fight versus Justin. After Ferguson's defeat, as expected, Khabib's team became shouted that Tony Ferguson is not worthy to fight Khabib, etc., etc. Besides, Khabib was so worried about Israel and Palestine war, but he never mentioned Russian invasion to Ukraine as Russian citizen. His country attacked neighbor state, but he kept silence throughout these 4 years. Putin sends to war thousands of his Dagestani people whose number is not so numerous. Most of them are dead already, but Nurmagomedov is still worried about Palestine war. He, by the way, supported attack on Jewish citizens in airport of Dagestan. Besides, I can remind you how Khabib named Cerrone as Chicken Guy when Donnie Cerrone admitted before Conor's fight that he always had a bit of trimmers before the fight. That is short video about most chicken and cheater in UFC history.